Hey, welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. I'm going to do a message for Aquarius. Energy is fluid, which means that roles could be reversed. Flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. If you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day in your comment bar. The word of the day is invincibility. Invincibility. You're going to write that word in your comment bar, and you'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath. And if I did, you and I will just correspond back and forth on YouTube. And don't worry about finding a link the day of your reading. I will post it in the comment bar underneath our comments. Okay, now if you're new to the channel, this is a soul healing channel. So we look at the inner child wounds and we see how they are shadows and how those shadows play out in the relationship. So we do look at triggers. We do look and see what's going to happen within your relationship, what is going to happen within your life. But we do so through being able to see what blocks you have to look out for and how you need to integrate those blocks into the healing antidote per se, because when we have a spiritual block, it just means that we're stuck in a perception that makes us fearful. And anything that makes us fearful is something that is a perception that makes us feel limited, not good enough, not worthy, not having enough, in a place of lack, instead of a place of abundance, a place of confidence, a place of a high vibration. Any high vibration, little energy brings us joy. It brings us passion, makes us feel connected within ourselves and our creator and each other, people on the planet, people that have spiritual blocks. They are detached. They're detached from themselves, detached from certain aspects of themselves, which are the shadow aspects that they are detached from. And those parts that are detached make them detached from the people that are in their lives and really from their creator. People that have spiritual blocks have sabotaging behaviorisms, because again, their behaviorisms are in alignment with what their core beliefs are, and their core beliefs are what's keeping them blocked in that limited perception. So to see how we can shape shift realities and quantum jump into the reality that we want to experience is to be able to see life through all different perceptions and be able to choose the reality that we want to walk into. And so understanding what we don't want a lot of times allows us to see what we do want, because we can actually see what we can create. So without further ado, again, this message is going to be for Aquarius. However, if you land on this message and you resonate with it, well, guess what? I believe spiritual energy goes to the person that needs to hear the message. So we get what we need, not necessarily what we want. Spiritual energy, again, like goes to like. So if you need to hear this message, you wind up on this channel listening. All right. That's how you know the universe has your back, giving you information that helps you grow and heal so that you can evolve, so that you can create your own heaven on earth, to create your own passions and life experiences, to be the creator of your own universe. Okay, let's look at the inner child wounds. The inner child wounds will tell us what your shadows are. Okay, innocence. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Innocence, however, could mean naive. If someone sees you as naive, you may feel that you're innocent. Maybe you don't feel like you're as experienced, is what I'm feeling. Someone sees you as innocent. Someone sees you as naive. Someone feels like they should protect you. However, I feel like the person that feels this way, you actually need to like protect yourself a little bit from them. There's a sense of a very strong passion. This person that I feel like you're connected to is used to going for lower hanging fruit, meaning they're used to going for easy people because they're driven a lot by passion. And so they're actually attracted to the fact that you're not like that, you seem innocent. You're like refreshing, I feel like. Though I don't know whether or not the innocence also means that you have to be careful again of this person, meaning you tend to look at life through rose-colored glasses, believing that people are the way that you are. So it's not necessarily a wound. I just feel like not a lot of experience. Innocent because you haven't had a lot of experience where you've had people betray you and hurt you. I feel like you're someone that has had a few serious relationships and they weren't really devastating. They didn't end in devastation. They were nice, or even if they did, they were nice to you the whole time. It was a good relationship, even if it didn't end badly. But again, I'm feeling like you don't have a lot of experiences of seeing bad, so you don't look for it. Dance. So I'm feeling like, well, can't really see that, but dance. There you go. So there's a sense of being able to go with the flow. See the hula dancer. So there's a sense of innocence, and because you're very intuitive, you tend to go with the flow. You're not very analytical. You're tend to be I want to say like a free spirit, someone that lives by your passion. You can feel that there's, again, a rhythm to the universe, and you can feel that when you're in alignment with that rhythm, that your life goes well. You're very clairsentient. I'm feeling like you're a feeling type person. And this is what makes you almost like childlike, because you don't look at things from that analytical left brain way where things are black and white. People tend to look at things more from that level of consciousness, very analytical when they've been wounded, because the survival mind is the reptilian mind. But when we live mainly from that perception, we're living mainly from a fear state of consciousness where we want to control. And if you're highly sensitive and you don't live your life that way because you're a free spirit and you're intuitive and you live more from that, then we could see that could actually be triggering for the person that you're connected to, but also intriguing. Frustrated. I feel like your person is so frustrated with themselves. And they're frustrated with themselves because they make everything difficult because they overthink. That's the energy there, right? When we're frustrated, it's because we feel like things need to go a certain way. We think that people should behave a certain way, and there's a sense that we want to control. When really that's not the energy that you're in. The energy that you're in is very free-spirited, non-judgmental, going with the flow, like being in the moment. You have to be in the moment to be able to go with the flow. You have to live from your passion. This person doesn't live from that level of consciousness. Again, they live from a more lower state consciousness, trying to control and very analytical, which is a fear-based consciousness. And so they could be very good in business, but not good in relationships. And this is very frustrating to them. We get frustrated a lot of times, like I said, because we don't like the way that life is going. We don't like what the life is showing us. One more, security and safety. And again, this talks about more living from a survival mechanism instead of really from our truth. Survival is not just physical survival. This is emotional survival. And your person feeling like they need to control instead of to be able to go with the flow, right? You're someone that goes with the flow. You're very innocent. This person is all about survival. This person is frustrated because I feel like you're not chasing them. I feel like they had an expectation of how relationships are supposed to go. They play a part instead of really like being in the relationship and letting the relationship have its own unfoldment process. So when a person does that, they try to control. They are living mainly from a place of fear, and we see why they wouldn't like their results. Now let's look at some shadows. Didn't want to knock those over. Okay. Some shadows for you. Impatience. And then shadow for the person. Again, perfectionism. So I feel like you're getting impatient with this person. Is that you're normally a person that goes with the flow, that if things are easy, and you're getting impatient with this person because this person overthinks. They get in their own way. They have a block in relationship. They have a block in relationships because they don't feel supported in relationships. They don't feel supported in just being able to be natural who they are. And when a person feels like they have to be someone else in order to be accepted, you know, you can never really emulate to be someone else. It's always going to be a little awkward if you try to do that. You have to really be yourself. If you try to emulate and pretend to be someone else, you're tricking the person that you're with. And what winds up happening is you can't stay in that vibe of doing that, but then you wind up having trust issues. You have trust issues because you're not being honest. So then you will start to project onto your environment that you don't trust. And really the person that you are, Aquarius, is someone that's playful, someone that's fun, someone that's naive, someone that doesn't have an agenda. And this person is very strategic because they don't feel safe in their relationships. So I believe that them overthinking it's always like you're waiting for the relationship to start, which is creating like an impatience within inside of you, which is throwing you out of your natural way of being, which is to be playful. That's how you know that when you get out of balance, you're not your regular character. Your regular character is to be fun, childlike, intuitive. It's making you overthink because of them not feeling adequate within themselves, trying to be perfect. Out of sync. I keep getting this. It's like they feel uncomfortable with who they are. They don't feel like they fit in anywhere. That's their own wound. That's not how you're making them feel. There's a sense that you are free spirited, so you again are always in sync. And they can tell that you're in sync because people like you. Your life experiences are unfolding well. They admire who you are. They think that your life is easy. They think your life, because you seem to not have stress. Well, people that live more from the intuitive mind, they live a lot from a place of faith. They're not overthinking. They're just taking things as they come. The person doesn't do that. They're trying to control everything, trying to look perfect, trying to be perfect. But that's because they have a deep feeling of inadequacy, which is why they're out of sync. That's why they don't fit in. This is why they're frustrated within their relationships. When meanwhile, you're innocent and you again go with the flow of life, but they are over time being around that energy is going to be triggering. We're going to look, see the triggering. Okay, limited. Well, right now we see that being with a person like this definitely makes you feel limited, but this person feels limited. So like goes to like, you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So again, there must be some part of you where you feel limited, and that could be in the fact that maybe business-wise, maybe there's not enough structure, maybe there's not enough direction, and why it's triggering to this person is because they're very analytical and they have all their ducks in a row, but they have no passion in their life. They don't know how to get along on an emotional level with people. And here you are acting like everything's fine and getting along, but your life doesn't really look structured. So it creates a lot of anxiety within this person where they don't feel safe, where they feel like they need to protect, they feel like they need to control. But as I said, that would be very triggering for you because it's triggering for them. So let's see what the triggers are. Dry spell, I get tired of dry spells and lack of sexual connection. So I feel like you felt like this person was trying to control you. Again, because there's a lack of structure in your life. And that's not the way that this person lives. And they also don't feel comfortable with who they are and listening to someone that's fearful, that's not comfortable in who they are. They have very rigid beliefs about how life needs to work. And here it is, you're the exact opposite of them. And they have a connection to you, but we can see how they would be controlling, feeling like they need to protect. But as I started this reading, I said, I feel like you need to protect yourself from them because of their fear. So how does it affect the relationship? Well, there's a lack of intimacy because your person doesn't trust you because of how you're living your life, not even because you're doing anything wrong, because you live a lot differently from them. That triggers them. I feel like they grow up with financial problems, money problems, and the lack of structure reawakens this, and they feel like they need to protect you, but then they don't really want to really have to do that either. And then because they do it, it's more of a controlling thing, which then frustrates you too, because then you're like, you're not letting me be me. And over time, trust creates intimacy problems where you don't want to, it affects the sexual chemistry. Let's just put it that way. Because there's a sense of not feeling safe with the person because you can't just be you. And excluded, I felt like I didn't exist. I want to feel involved, not isolated. So again, person wanting to control doesn't necessarily mean that you're included. They want to do everything for you. So that would be kind of like not really being accepted. But I feel like you being a free spirit and this person being very controlling over time, you didn't really feel like you could bring this person along with you, to certain events. You couldn't be you. This person doesn't feel comfortable with you being you, but they're not really comfortable in themselves. People that are comfortable with who they are, they don't have a problem with the people in their life being who they are. That's not a reflection of them. Remember, this started off where the person that's connected to you feels like they need to protect you. They need to, but in that, their way of protecting is to control. And that would create a dry spell. And then you wouldn't want to spend time with this person after a while, because intimacy problems create trust problems. And then they don't really feel comfortable in fitting into your crowd even. So then you feel like you need to entertain them instead of really being able to enjoy yourself. So you began to exclude yourself. So their originally wound is the fact that they don't feel that they can connect with anyone. They always feel out of sync. So they're with you, the free spirit, the person that has these gifts, hoping that they can become more of a free spirit or can obtain the life that you have, which is the elements of them that are missing. They don't feel comfortable in themselves. They don't have deep connection. Too busy trying to be perfect, trying to control the environment, to try and control their situation. No one wants to be with a control freak. After a while, creates intimacy problems, trust problems, because the person that they're with is actually, the person that you're with is actually showing you that they don't trust you. So you would again feel like you would always need to make this person happy instead of to feel safe and comfortable in the relationship. Ignored again. I feel like your person is very codependent. Again, excluded, ignored. It's where really, again, this is the one that they have. They feel that they're at a sink. And I feel they would take it out on you. Again, because dry spell, you didn't want to be with them on an intimate level, and then they felt like you were ignoring them. And then they would ignore you. And then bluff, calling your bluff, satisfying thing that I've ever done. So sense of, feeling like you needed to put a stop to it. You feel like they didn't think that you would leave. They didn't think that you would stand your ground. They thought that they could continue to come into your life and control, and really they would even try to control you through emotionally manipulating you, right? People that feel like they're out of sync and they're living in fear, they will try to control, especially since they saw you as being very naive, very childlike, having an easier life, and possibly by fitting in and not caring about the things that they cared about as much. They were almost brought like this energy of like a downer. They were a downer to be around. And that didn't mean that they didn't care about you. They just were too busy, like trying to be perfect, worrying about life instead of living life, instead of connecting. So we see again that, them trying to control. I feel like you told them time and time and time again that you are going to put up with it, and they didn't listen. And so you called their bluff. There was a sense that they felt your love. When you're a naive person and a free spirit, you tend to love with your in innocence, to love with your whole heart. This person felt that, which is why they felt the need to come in and protect you. But their need to protect you is the fact that they don't feel strong in themselves. They projected a lot of their wounds onto you, but they were coming from a good place in their heart. But it was coming from their level of consciousness. They want to feel protected. They want to feel included. They want to feel supported. they want to feel as if they fit in. So that's easy for you. So again, they thought being with you would make them somehow have obtained those traits. And a lot of people that have wounds, they're attracted to their soulmate because their soulmates have the traits that they perceive that they lack, that they have shadows in. However, what happens is that they don't obtain what the person that they're connected to has. What winds up happening is what they're actually seeking, they feel further away from, because now they're with a person that they're not getting what they want. If anything, the relationship is, they have intimacy issues, which is trust issues, which is because, one person feels that they should control the relationship. But in that, it's like no one wants to be controlling. So you're not wanting to really have them to come along with you, to participate in your relationships. It's created intimacy where a lack of sex, a lack of trust, a lack of friendship, a lack of just intimacy. And over time, then betrayal sets in. Then there's a lot of bitterness that comes in because your person was actually thinking that they were doing the right thing. I'm coming in protecting, feeling the need to protect because I know of a better way, and you're a free spirit, and people are going to come and take advantage of you. No one would take advantage of you. They had a lack of faith in you. They perceived you as that because they're not really, I want to say someone that tends to have good relationships, tends to come into relationships being authentic. They tend to come in lying about who they are and becoming who that person wants them to become, and then never holding up to their end of the bargain for long periods of time. So they don't have good relationships. They feel like they're out of sync because they don't know what they do. What they do is that they're not their real self. And because they're not, what they're saying is that they don't like themselves. And what happens is that that's what reflects back into their life, is that people don't like who they are because they're being controlling instead of just being. And so let's look at their hidden truths. It was my fault, but I blamed you. A lot of projecting. Because, again, fear. They wanted to control the situation and feeling like you made everything difficult. A lot of projecting, as I said. I feel you even though we're apart. And because they'll still have that soul connection, because it's a soul relationship. You were brought into this person's life to show them a contrast of how they were living, because that's how you live. It's very different. But it also was a divine union to reflect the wounds. For you, it was all about trust. This person didn't make you feel safe. And they love you, but they don't love themselves. They don't feel safe in relationships not because of anything that you've done, because they keep entering into the relationship not really being authentic. This time they actually had a good intention, but they overcompensated. See, when we don't know who we are and we don't like who we are, we don't trust who we are, then we try to strategize. But the problem is we're strategizing from our level of consciousness, and this person that you're connected to doesn't feel like they belong anywhere. They feel like an odd duck. They feel like there's something wrong with them. They can't have deep relationships. Their life may be really organized. They may have financial abundance, but their relationships they have problems in, and that's a sign that they feel inadequate. So they're a little shady. They look at you, they see you, that you're pure, you're innocent. That's what attracts them to you. So they feel like they need to protect, but they're shady. And then they're also, don't feel good about themselves. But until they learn the spiritual lesson that connection that isn't broken, there's unconditional love here. And past life connection transcends all time and space, because the energy of love, there is no time and space. We can feel it. It's again, it can't be manipulated. It can't be ruined. So your person doesn't like what's going on, doesn't like the fact that they can't control you. And you don't like how this person acted, but there still is a spiritual connection there. And I feel like you're aggravated with this person at this point and you don't really care. However, your person, I'm feeling, is getting humble, because they normally like approach life and relationships from a very analytical standpoint, and they feel you even though that you're apart from them. So again, that's a soul connection. And that's a very profound connection, one that they've never had before. I don't think that this person felt like they could have a deep connection with anyone, because they always feel out of tune. They don't create good relationships. So they're almost in this paradox energy of, I don't like the fact that I can't control this, is making me feel really uneasy. However, I'm still can feel this person. I still have feelings for this person. So, I mean, Aquarius, that's huge, because this person doesn't normally have deep connections. Finding out the truth crushed me. I feel like for you, that is, you seeing this person is not really comfortable with who they are, didn't really show you who they truly are. There's a sense that you feel like they strategize a lot, so how can they actually have a deep relationship with you, that they're almost too wounded to have a relationship with you. I wish I could share my good news with you, but even though like you're really hurt from this, there is still a sense of that you miss this person, that you did love this person. And sometimes soul relationships do that. It's not so much what the relationship was, it was the expectation of the relationship, what we had hoped the relationship could bring. And I feel like you both invested a lot of time to the relationship. So you're both missing the relationship. And that's a hidden truth right there. And I feel you leaving me behind. I feel like your person knows that they have to change. They know that they have to humble themselves. They know, I mean, that's what soul relationships do. They make us change. However, your person doesn't really like to change. They don't like to seem vulnerable. They like to be in full control. And part of that is like being naive, is just kind of going along with everything. And you can't do that. So let's look and see what more energy of what their plans will be. They feel like you're leaving them behind. There is something I am hiding from you. I will find my way back to you one day. I don't know what I want. This person's energy is all over the place. It's like they feel the soul's connection, so they do feel like one day you will be together with them. However, they don't like who they are. They hide a lot from you. They want to know everything about you. They want to control your life, but they don't really want to let anyone in to their life. So I always feel like there's a sense that, again, that spiritual connection isn't broke, but they don't really know when they're going to come back and fix it. They don't know how it's going to get fixed. They leave a lot up to fate. They leave a lot up to chance. I ran away because I felt I couldn't live up to your needs and expectations. And that's because there's intimacy problems. So the intimacy problems is because this person doesn't like who they are. And they try to control relationships. They're basing this relationship that they're in, or the relationship that they were in with you, based on all their past relationships, and not really the relationship that they were in with you. And that's the problem. And they thought because you were so different and that it would work, but they're still the same person, not until they heal themselves. And so the healing energy that they really need to incorporate is the light attributes of the storyteller, which is the ability to experience and express life through their own life, through their own like view of life. The storyteller is someone that, again, lives many, many different experiences. The storyteller is able to explain and their view of life through their own uniqueness, through their own view, which says a lot about a person's unique individuality, right? Like when we live our experiences and we share those experiences, what we're sharing is we're sharing our passions, we're sharing our downfalls, we're sharing our struggles, we're sharing our life experiences that grew us, that changed us. So we're really letting that person in, but at the same time, we're becoming ourselves. We're having a love affair with ourselves. In order to become the storyteller, we have to have content. We have to be inspired. Something has to inspire us. So what inspires us? To go out in life and experience things, and then to be able to share those experiences through our views, through our connections, so people could get a real authentic idea of who we are. Then we don't need to control who we are. Then we're not so focused on what I'm doing, how I look, how the relationship is going, what happened in my past, what might happen now, what could happen because of the past that I didn't heal. Where is it going? You know, the mind chatters when we have a block. All these questions come flooding into our brain. Like we feel like all of a sudden we're in survival. And so what happens is we say, well, maybe I can be with this person, they could fix it. Or I view this person's life and I like what they have, and they're an opposite person. Or I feel this spiritual connection that's deep, like no other, and they're going to fix it. And what we see is that no one fixes it. What happens is relationships happen mainly to show us the view of ourselves. The soul relationship here is not that there wasn't unconditional love, but the person that you were connected to, Aquarius, doesn't have unconditional love for themselves. So because they don't, they kept trying to control the relationship instead of creating themselves. So there is a spiritual connection, and because it's not broken, they do feel like one day that it could work out, but they're not doing anything to like really make that relationship move forward, which feel like this person's used to kind of being in the fantasy realm, not doing anything and letting other people do. And that's because they don't trust who they are. So I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. If you resonated with this video, please let me know. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.